Hello, this is Heather with Creativity by Heather BE. Welcome back to the channel. I'm so glad you could join me again. So today I am showing you a Halloween card made with this adorable stamp from Whimsy Stamps called Bat Balloon. I saw this on the site. I actually went on there to get a stencil and I fell in love with this little guy. Look how cute he is, tipping over to the side, holding his little balloon. Just adorable. So I decided what I wanted to do was just to create a scene with him. And so what I'm using is the Hello Bluebird. And this is the Halloween scene builder. I'll have the product listed below. I can't remember the exact name of it. I've used it in other videos that I'll link above. And to make the hill on the bottom that he's standing on, I am going to use the My Favorite Things hill stencil. So what I did is I just kind of sketched it out and I cut down some of the trees and dies and sketched those together. And the stamp is a rubber stamp. So what I'm kind of doing is lifting up the bottom of it and making sure that his foot is on the hill, which was nice with the stamp because he's kind of tipping over. I only needed to get one foot to land on the hill. So I was just checking to make sure that that was where it was supposed to be. And I am going to stamp this up with the Brutus Monroe detail ink. I'm going to be doing some Copic coloring, and this is a great Copic coloring ink. It doesn't smear. You don't have to wait for it to dry. It's wonderful. So I will give some full disclosure here. The scene that I am stamping out at the moment is not the one that I actually end up coloring because I got this one completely done. And then I decided to add something extra. I couldn't leave it alone, and it completely ruined it. So I want to tell you some of the things that I changed when I did it the second time. So one of them is instead of drawing the lines out so defined, I did them lighter and then put my masking over it. So that way it was easier when I went in to blend the ink. That was the biggest thing that I did. So what you're seeing here is where I went through and I masked. I used Brutus Monroe masking paper and I masked down the trees, the balloon, and the pumpkin. I tried to get his legs and hands and arms the best I could, but I knew I could go back over them with a Copic marker. So I'm taking Distress Oxide Wilted Violet and I'm just going over this, and I'm not really, you can see I've got some areas that are darker than others. I didn't really want it to look like it was completely blended. I wanted it to kind of have those areas that were darker and some were lighter. And I'm going to go back over that with the blueprint sketch, which is what I'm getting ready to do here now. So I'm going to take the blueprint sketch, which I love using this for a night sky. It just blends so well. And then you could also take some black soot, and off camera I did decide just to take some and go around the edges. So there you can see I'm pulling off the masking, and now I'm just going to do some Copic coloring, but I'm going to do my trees first. And I decided for the trees I wanted them to have some different depth levels instead of just Copic coloring. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use some of the Brutus Monroe Aqua pigment colors. These are a great liquid watercolor. They're very pigmented, and what I'm using here first is the blue violet. So I'm just laying it down, and then I'll go back and mix in some of the black, and so that kind of gave the trees a little bit of depth. And when I went through this the first time, I just did the Copic, and then I ended up going back over with the Aqua pigments, and I like it better on the bottom. I think it really help to give those trees more kind of character, and they're in a dark scene, so you're not going to see all the lines and everything for the trees that you would if it was in a scene that was daylight. So there you can see I've got everything colored in. I went back in with my Copic markers over the hill and the trees, and now I'm just going in and coloring my pumpkin. So I started with the Y08. I wanted the pumpkin to have some of that yellow undertone. So I went in with that first, and then I'm going back in with my Y09, and then I'll pull in some Y07 just to kind of bring that together. And I'm not sure what happened, but when I did the eyes and the mouth and the nose, that did not get recorded. But I used C5 and C7 is what I used for that. For the balloon, I thought about doing it to keep on with the Halloween colors and doing it the purple, and I decided that I wanted to do like an aqua color. So I'm using B02 and B04 is what I'm using for the balloon. And for the writing, I decided to use some grays. So I've got C3 and then C5 as my darker shadowing. This was really simple to color. It didn't take much time at all. For the little stem, I did use E23 and 25. So I had some paper in my stash that I'm showing you there. It was almost like an embossed with pumpkin faces. I wanted some type of mat for this. And so I decided to cut that and use it. And I want to say I got that at like Hobby Lobby, someplace like that is where I picked that up. I actually had to dig it out of some paper stash that I don't really use. And I did add some foam backing, some fun foam to the back of my panel, and I'm going to pop it on my card. I am going to go in and add some Nuvo crystal glaze to the balloon and some Aqua Shimmer pen to the pumpkin and into the balloon before I use the glaze. And that was it. Such a simple, fun Halloween card. I'm probably going to end up sending this to one of my little nephews. Just fun. I love this stamp. So much fun you could have with this stamp. And you can see there, he's just so much fun. So that's my first Halloween card for this year. I plan on doing probably like a 5 for fall type series. I want to do some Halloween cards, but I also want to do some just general fall cards. So I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to check back. I will have some additional Halloween fall cards coming up here in the next couple days. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.